I've heard the stories, vast parking lots full of unsold brand new cars, or closer to my field of endeavor, large piles of features that nobody ever uses. But how does such a wasteful state of affairs come to pass? My name is Kent Beck from Gusto, and I'm here to talk with you about outcome over output. Recently, there's been a surge in interest in the distinction between observing outcome and observing output. And I thought, yeah, I believe in this. This is absolutely right. And what is it exactly that I mean by those two things? So in these two videos, I'm going to talk about what's the problem that's being solved, what are the alternatives for solving it, and what are the trade-offs between those alternatives. And then at the end, we'll be able to come back to this question of outcome versus output. So the basic problem to be solved is we have some sort of value loop where a producer creates a value, and then a consumer realizes that value, and then eventually the value comes back to the producer so they can produce some more. The prime imperative here is some form of growth. In the Silicon Valley style, it might be hyper growth, or it might be organic bootstrapped growth. But in either case, the question is, you've got this loop, and how do you enhance it? Unfortunately, this model is too simple to be able to see inside of it. And so let's expand it a little bit. On the producer side, the first thing we have to do is choose from among the many, many things that we could do what it is that we're going to produce next. Then we have to actually do that work and then deliver value to the customer in whatever form that is. In the case of software, that's deploying a piece of software somewhere. On the consumer side, the first thing that has to happen is the consumer has to find the potential value that we've created. For example, at Gusto, we'll have longtime payroll customers come to us and say, hey, we really wish you would do benefits. And we have to say, we've been doing benefits for the past several years. So finding potential value is the first step. Learning how to use it. Nothing happens instantaneously. And then the consumer actually uses whatever the product was and gains value themselves. And that triggers the flow of value back to the producer. Now we have a picture that's detailed enough that we could see inside of it. If we look at just the work that was done, we're looking at effort. If we look at the results of that work that's done, that's when we're looking at output. But output is only potential. If we look at the value realized by the consumer, that's outcome. And the eventual flow of value back to us, that's the impact on our organization of having created value in the first place. So here we have 4 alternative ways of observing the loop of value: effort, output, outcome, and impact. And in the next video, we'll talk about each of these in turn and the trade-offs between them. So I'll see you again soon. This is Kent Beck for Gusto.